Good morning to all. So today we are discussing about the NCERT questions of the human capital formation, the chapter we have completed. But as the NCERT questions are very important, and the board exams also, many of the questions are from the NCERT part. So here for every chapter I am discussing the NCERT questions. So the first question, please open your books on page number 5.16. And the first question is for the NCERT question is, what are the major sources of human capital formation in a country? Human capital in a country means kin sources say which things mainly contribute for the human capital to convert the humans into a capital. What main two things are being taken, that is investment in education and investment in health, because these two are very important for converting the humans into a capital. Because if a person is uneducated, he will increase the crime rate, as a empty mind is an devil's place. And investment in health means if a person is unhealthy, also he is a burden for his parents, for the society. He can't do any work. So these two sources are very much important: investment in education and investment in health, to convert the humans into the form of the capital, to convert into the form of a resource. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन, व्हाट आर द इंडिकेटर्स ऑफ एजुकेशनल अचीवमेंट इन आवर कंट्री, मींस किन पैरामीटर्स पर हम देखते हैं, कौन सी चीजें इंडिकेट करती हैं कि हाउ मच एजुकेशन हैज बीन अचीव्ड. फर्स्ट इज द एडल्ट लिटरेसी रेट, एज आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड यू बिफोर ऑल्सो. Adult literacy rate means an adult person, if he is able to read and write, how many people are adult literate. Next is the youth literacy rate, the youngsters, how many are able to read and write. And the primary completion rate, those who are completing this up to the classes 5th or classes 8, how many students are there. So this is the educational achievement, that if a person is able to read and write a sentence properly, then he is known as an adult literate. So we have to see like this way educational achievement in the country. Next is, why do we observe regional differences in education attainment in India? Why is the difference between the educational achievement? Because first is that there is regional equality in the income and disparities in expenditure by government. First is that there is a regional inequality in income. Region wise, somewhere the earnings are more, somewhere the earnings are less. So where the earnings are more, in that areas people spend more on their children's education, and where the earnings are less, people only they have to spend for their bare necessities of life. So how can they spend on the education? Okay, so it is there is a first difference. First reason is why there is a disparity is because there is inequality in the earning of the people. And second is there is disparities in the government expenditure. What the government spend on the education of the people, that also is different state wise. In some states, as the data we have seen before also, in some states the expenditure is more, and in some states the expenditure is less. As you can see over here, I have told you. Okay, you can see the previous videos. Now the next one is, bring out the differences between the human capital and human development. This difference I have told you, that human capital means that when a person is given education, he is a healthy person, he should necessarily contribute to the development of a country, to the development of his family. And human development, what it said, that it is the birthright of an individual, that if he or she has taken birth, he should get the education, he should get the good sanitation facilities, he should get the safe drinking water. Okay, so these are the differences in the human capital. Human capital are it is necessary that it should increase the labor productivity, but human development means that the humans are ends in themselves. It is not necessary, according to the human development, that if an educated person and healthy person should necessarily earn. This doesn't suggest human development, but human capital compulsorily insists on it, that if a person is educated, he should necessarily contribute to the development of the country. Next is, how is human development is a broader term as compared to human capital. वो broader कैसे है? How it is broader? Because human development take more things in the development of the human beings. Means it doesn't consider humans as a source of income only, but human capital, what it insists, that if a person has taken a birth, if a child is there, he should be educated, he should be healthy, and he should necessarily contribute, he should necessarily earn if he is educated, if he is a healthy person. Okay, so it takes into itself, human development takes into itself more benefits for the human, but it doesn't insist the humans to earn. They are the ends in themselves. Human beings is itself a blessing, but human capital doesn't consider it as that if you are educated you should not earn. So it is a broader concept. Human development is a broader concept. Next is, what factors contribute to the human development? It is same as the sources of the human capital. Okay, expenditure, education, these are explained very well. Question number 7, to government organization to regulate the health and education sector. This I have marked, told you to mark ICMR and the NCERT. that is for the health and the education. Next, education is considered, question number 8, education is considered as important input for development of a nation. Why education is important input? Input means as the raw material is put, output is taken out, as you have read in class 11 microeconomics, production function with the input and output is taken out. So why education is important for the development of a nation? Because if a person is educated, some points are given that he or she will be having the higher earning capacity. It is true that a skilled person, educated person, highly educated person has more earnings. Next, it gives better social standing and pride. It gives social status. Okay, you have the special place in the society. It enables one to make better choices. We can make choices. Which thing is good for us? Which plan is good for us? And which plan is not good for us? Because the educated person. It provides knowledge to understand the changes taking place in society. Whatever the changes in there, how we have to change according to the climate, according to the changing society conditions. They can change it very well. Next, it also stimulates innovations. Okay, it gives birth to innovations. Only an educated, skilled person can do innovations, and it also adopt to the new technologies. Whatever new techniques are there, an educated person can learn it very well. Next is discuss the following source of human capital. This also I will explain. Health infrastructure means expenditure on health and expenditure on the migration. This you have to explain this. Next, establish the need for acquiring information related to health and education expenditure for the effective utilization of the human resources. Okay. So why it is necessary that the expenditure on health and education should lead to effective utilization of the human resources? Okay. So it is necessary because if a person is healthy and educated, he can contribute more to the society. If this data comes out as true, and if data is being analyzed that the educated person contribute more, it will insist people to invest more in the education and the health. So to insist more on the investment in the education, on the investment in the health, it is necessary that we should acquire the information that necessarily the educated person contribute more to become the human capital or to convert humans as a resources. Next, how does investment in human capital contribute to growth? How does it contribute to growth? It is very easy. How? Because the points are given as an educated person increases the productivity. It take out the more from the physical capital. Okay, it leads to higher production as a skilled labor produces more as they are the trained ones. Okay, and what an engineer can do, a local person who is not educated can't do. No, an MBBS doctor is there, and the quacks are also there. You can see the difference. Okay, generally they are having the cases, many the death cases are there. Okay, so we can see the difference very clear. So they contribute more. And next thing, it promotes the inventions and the innovations. Okay, so when inventions and innovations are there, high production is there, economic growth will be automatically. So human capital leads to the economic growth. Next, question number 12. There is a downward trend in inequality worldwide with a rise in the average education levels. Comment. Okay. The given statement is correct as labor skill of an educated person is more than that of an uneducated person. Okay, because जो labor skill होते हैं educated के that are more than the uneducated. So it leads to the inequality because although if a person is healthy, he is an educated one, he will contribute more. So as compared to the one who is not educated, so this inequality is rising, and to reduce this inequality, government has to take steps that all the people should be educated. Next, examine the role of education. Question number 13, same as the question number 8, it is being given. Question number 14 also, same. Okay. Next, bring out the need for on-the-job training. This I have also explained. Means on-the-job training makes the person updated, and also it increases the skills. He can contribute more to the firm as we know the new technology well. Okay, his skills are updated. The new skills, whatever are in the market, the new techniques, whatever in the market, that is being imparted to that person in the training. So it is necessary for the on-the-job training. Next is trace the relationship between human capital and economic growth. This just I have explained you about in question number 11. Same this is. Next, discuss the need for promoting women education. Why women education is important? Why? Because first of all, it reduces their economic dependence. When they are economically independent, they don't need to be, and that reduces the domestic violence also. That is a great issue these days, and it increases the social status, and also it reduces the fertility rate. And educated women know that if he gives birth to more children, it will decreases her health, and also the financial condition also remains become poor if the more children are there. So it reduces the fertility rate, and also if an educated woman is educated, she will think about that her children should also be educated. So women education is very much important in our country. That's why government is insisting on this.